We've all been there, right? Sleeve rolled up, a tight band on your arm, and then that little pinch. It's just a routine blood draw, something we see as a normal part of medicine. But what if I told you the story behind that simple act is, well, it's pretty wild. The journey from an ancient, kinda scary ritual to a precise science is one heck of a tale. So let's get into it.
Seriously, have you ever sat in that chair and just thought, how did we even get here? How did this super sterile, super specific process come to be? Well, the story is thousands of years old, and it's packed with everything from strange theories about the body to barber poles and eventually some huge, game-changing discoveries.
So, we're going to start our journey way back in the ancient world, a time when drawing blood was much more of an art or ritual than it was a science. We're going to trace the incredible transformation of this practice, called bloodletting, into the procedure we know today.
Okay, so what's really fascinating here is the whole idea behind it. For literally thousands of years, medicine was all about this humoral theory. The belief was that your body was filled with 4 basic liquids, or humors: blood, phlegm, yellow bile, and black bile. If you got sick, well, it just meant your humors were out of balance, and the #1 way to fix it was, you guessed it, bloodletting.
And this practice had a long run. We're talking leeches in ancient Egypt, then the Greeks with Hippocrates turned it into an actual medical theory. By the time we get to medieval Europe, it was so common that barber surgeons were doing it. And yeah, that red and white spinning pole outside a barber shop, it represents blood and bandages. The real game changer came in 1628 when William Harvey figured out that blood actually, circulates. That one discovery was the beginning of the end for bloodletting as a curo.
And this just lays it all out, doesn't it? The difference is night and day. The goal went from balancing these imaginary fluids to getting cold, hard data. The tools went from leeches and blades to sterile needles. And most importantly, the whole thing shifted from being based on tradition to being based on actual scientific evidence.
Okay, so that brings us to today. The modern blood draw, or venipuncture, isn't just a random poke. It's a highly standardized process where every single step, and I mean every step, is all about keeping the patient safe and getting an accurate result.
Now, this might look like a simple checklist, but precision here is everything. It all starts with making absolutely sure you have the right patient. Then you get your gear, find a good vein, clean the spot, and then after the poke, there are these final crucial moves like releasing the tourniquet before the needle comes out and labeling everything perfectly. So what happens if one of these steps goes wrong? Let's zoom in on what is, without a doubt, the most important one. Step 1, patient ID.
So picture this. It's a story about a phlebotomist named Jenny. It's a crazy busy day. She sees an elderly woman waiting alone, and just assumes she must be her last patient, Jane Rogers. She does the blood draw, only to have the real Jane Rogers walk up to the desk moments later.
That one little assumption could have been a total disaster. The wrong blood, the wrong test. That leads to a completely wrong diagnosis and a potentially dangerous treatment plan. It's why verifying a patient's identity with at least 2 things, like their full name and their birthday, is the absolute first, most important rule of the game. But the obsession with precision doesn't stop there. Oh no. Once that needle is in, a whole new level of complexity kicks in. You've seen them, right? That little rainbow of color-coded tubes? They're not just for show. They have to be filled in a very specific sequence called the order of draw.
This right here is the universal sequence. It's like a recipe that has to be followed perfectly every single time. You always start with the sterile blood culture tubes, so nothing from the other tubes can contaminate them. Then you move to light blue for clotting tests, then the serum tubes, and on down the line. Each color means there's a different additive inside, which makes the order just absolutely critical.
I know what you're thinking. Does it really make that big of a difference if the lavender tube gets filled before the green one? Well, the answer is a huge, resounding yes. And here's why. Think of it like this. If you got a tiny bit of the stuff from the lavender tube, an anticoagulant, into the light blue tube, it would completely mess up a test that's supposed to measure how well blood clots on its own. The order of draw is basically a firewall, making sure each sample is pure and the test results are totally accurate.
So, we've talked about how things are supposed to go, but let's be real, what about when they don't? For a lot of us, the biggest fear is the dreaded hard stick. That moment when a vein just doesn't want to be found.
Come on, we can all relate to this, right? The anxiety is real, whether you're the patient or the person holding the needle. You're trying your best, but the vein is deep, or it's small, or it just keeps rolling away. It's frustrating.
And this isn't just about being uncomfortable.
For a lot of people, kids, the elderly, patients who might be dehydrated or chronically ill, this is a constant problem. It can lead to multiple, painful pokes and even delays in getting important treatment.
This is HGVF637 Vein Finder Unit. Turn on the slide switch and adjust the intensity if you need. See how clear the vein looks.
For patients who are known to be a hard stick, using one of these vein finders can improve the chance of getting it on the very first try by up to 83%. That means less pain, less stress, and just plain better care.
On top of that, it just makes things work better. Hospitals that use this tech see a 45% drop in what they call escalations. That's when a nurse has to give up and call in the special IV team for help. It gives clinicians way more confidence to handle those tough situations themselves.
So look how far we've come, from ancient rituals and leeches to high-tech vein finders. Let's wrap this up by really focusing on why mastering this one seemingly simple procedure is so incredibly important to all of modern medicine.
This right here is the number that matters most. Just take a second to let that sink in. Over 70% of the decisions your doctor makes, from figuring out what's wrong to prescribing your medicine to checking on a long-term condition, it all relies on the information that's locked inside those little tubes of blood.
That one tiny puncture kicks off a massive chain of events. The journey it took, from a misunderstood art to a precise science, is literally what makes modern medicine possible. It's the essential link between you, the patient, and your diagnosis.
So the next time you're in that chair and you roll up your sleeve, maybe you won't just see a needle. Maybe you'll see thousands of years of history, a complex dance of precise steps, and the critical first move in the game that keeps us all healthy. Thanks for watching.